when you said talk like this, I thought you were going to do like a yeah, he was going to do an accent, and I was like, whoa, that didn't change at all. I thought you were going to put on a cowboy. Hey, pilgrim. No, anyway, sorry, it just.
Oh yes, we finally got the British person to do an American accent. Yes, 70 episodes in, it happened.
That was my worst John Wayne impression, the history of John Wayne impressions, I might add.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Are you well?
Yes, I am very well. Today I am especially well.
How come?
Sorry, it's the obligatory, why are you well, Nick?
Sorry. I was being far more relaxed. Why are you well, Nick?
I am well because we have finally, once again, another guest in the virtual studio with us today. It's so exciting.
And who is it?
It's with bated breath. This week, we are joined to talk about an extremely influential game. We're joined by none other than Danny from Psychedelose. Say hello, Danny.
Hello.
Hello. It's so good. It's so good to have you here and have another guest on the show. It's always such a good time to talk about video games with more people.
Oh, it's fantastic being here. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about what mammoth game did you give us? What what game did you bring to us? This is your favorite game, right, Danny?
Yes, absolute favorite. I have given you on a silver platter Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'm stunned. This is one of the biggest games that's ever been made, ever been released. It's such an influential game. Of course, it's a lot of people's favorite game by far, because this is the premium cowboy game. This is the cowboy game.
Well, I was going to speak to Danny. Like his Caleb husband gives us Mass Effect. She brings forward Red Dead Redemption 2. It's like, damn, you're bringing the A-list, the A-list.
The heavy hitters, they're not holding back.
What can I say?
Now, I was intrigued. You played the first Red Dead Redemption, right?
Yes, I have.
And I'm just intrigued. I know this. I don't know how to entirely phrase the question. The cowboys, the western, the history and stuff. It's kind of a masculine type of genre. But you would. How did you get drawn into these types of games? Just out of curiosity. I only say that because my father is into True Grit and Magnificent Seven. I've been brought up with cowboy movies for most of my life. That's why I was somewhat drawn to it. How about yourself?
Oh, okay. It's just literally as simple as I am a history nerd. Usually the games I go for are the historical setting kind of ones. And the first game, I actually can't remember how I got into the first game. I think a friend recommended it to me, and I was not raised a cowboy person at all, but I have a soft spot in my heart for cowboys for some reason. And I was like, a game where I could play as a cowboy. That sounds like a good time. And it was. And that was
that makes sense with your
2013.
Yeah, right. And that also makes sense with all your cosplay, right? It's all generally, what I know, Assassin's Creed related, which also has the historical background and everything like that. So okay.
It all makes sense now.
So that makes sense, right? You enjoy the history and the cowboys, the Indians, the murdering, the shooting, and all the other things that go with the cowboy genre.
All the other fun stuff.
I think it's also an extremely good game for a studio like Rockstar to tackle, with all of these the massive Wild West, the open world, the historical aspect of it. It's such, if I can jump into the game, it's such a hugely massive, excellent game. So thank you for bringing it to the show for us to dive into, Danny.
Oh, I'm glad I could. I would say it's actually quite selfish of me because I just want to talk about it for like 1.5 hours.
It's weird because Nick hasn't actually played them. He hasn't played the first one or the second one, right, Nick?
Yes. Okay, fine. No, I've not. I
I
know. I mean, we've all got our blind spots. We've all got our... Dave, you've not played The Legend of Zelda, have you?
Oh, whoa. It's pointed...
Are we just airing dirty laundry now?
There we go.
See?
I know. I only say that from a perspective point of view. You've got fresh eyes on a genre that I've also played the first one, so's Danny, so we already knew we liked the first one. We kind of knew we were probably going to like the second one.
Very true.
You come in fresh with new perspective, hopefully.
Yes, and I think there's some value to be had by looking at some of these games without nostalgia goggles.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very true.
Sadly, that's not going to come from me. So that's all on your shoulders. Yeah, exactly. That's on your shoulders, Nick, by all accounts.
But let's jump into what I think could arguably be a lot of people's favorite part of this entire game, and that's the narrative.
Well, yes,
I've got a couple of notes here, but I think they pale in comparison to the amount of notes or things to say that the two of you have. Because I've not finished Red Dead 2. A quick disclaimer: I've not finished it. And the other night we were talking, Dave, you and I've not even gotten out of Valentine.
No.
Don't
See, that was my reaction too. I was like, seriously, like, just Valentine. Like, you're still in that little camp bit.
That's like the tutorial stage almost.
That's what I said.
I would have loved to, but no, I didn't get out of Valentine. I'm doing quests here and there. I hunted a bear, I think.
Wow, you think, but that's a bit disturbing by all accounts. But I'll give you a credit though. This world you can get lost in, and sometimes not following the narrative is a lot of fun too. I.e., the gambling and the hunting and all the other things you do. So I get being distracted by the narrative.
Yes,
but I also don't get it because the narrative is kind of amazing.
Not even kind of. It's truly amazing. I really do think this could potentially be one of the best narratives ever told in a video game, including characters, dialogue, story. This is probably one of the best, if not the best, in any video game ever.
I would say it's the best. I'm biased though.
That's completely
it's certainly up there, and it's all.
It could be. What other narratives could rival Red Dead 2? Not much. Okay, Baldur's Gate 3 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, not a Baldur's Gate fan, or just...
I am actually playing Baldur's Gate currently. It's not Red Dead.
Yeah, no, I give you that.
Yep.
But it's one of those things about these types of games. It's we discuss this all the time, that gaming is very much an art form. And you can't look at this game and you watch it, you play it, and then you get carried away with the emotion, the background, the people, the conversations, the who's and who you can't trust.
Yes.
This is just one of those ones again where they just take it to such a high level. You think to yourself, whoa, you play other games like, Heist, whatever, I can't think of any games now. My mind's kind of blank. The millions of games out there.
SteamWorld
Yeah,
Heist.
exactly. Yeah. And then you get these games that just push it to such level that you feel like you're actually in a movie, or you're actually in a series that you enjoy watching, but you are doing the actions. And Rockstar
100%.
have done that, are doing that. They're knocking it out of the park in regards to doing these things.
They do. I mean, it's one game every 5 or 6 years, but when that game releases, it's top of the charts, number one.
Yeah. It's out of curiosity, Danny, who was your favorite character in Red Dead Redemption 2?
I have to say Arthur, and I know it's the standard, but Arthur, and I loved Hosea.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if he's a popular choice, but I loved him.
I liked him.
Rosea. No, I know who Rosea is.
Hosea.
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 J-O-S-E.
Okay, they're fine. Hosea.
Yeah, I agree. It was the older kind of disheveled.
The grandpa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, wait a minute. Is he the one who sends you to get...
He's the gay man.
Yeah, he's the one who went hunting with.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
Right.
I played Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Oh, Josea there.
Yes.
I also did like. Sorry, I
Go on, no.
did love Sadie too. I did really love Sadie. She is a great character as well.
Oh, this is where I'm blanking slightly. Was she
No.
was she the firecracker type? I can pull my own weights, lady.
Yes, she is.
Yes, no,
she
she
is
was
the
great.
blonde. Yeah.
Yeah, she was great. She was slightly unhinged, but I think it was a joy being around her most of the time.
That's a mood.
Yeah, no doubt. There's no doubt. But the other things in this story was, like I said, it's hard not to mention spoilers in regards to the story because
Yes.
there
Very
is so
true.
much there, and to actually mention it would ruin for people who actually never played before, because it's got everything from betrayal, serial killers, mental instability, terminal illness, mysteries to solve, freaking
Aliens.
Is it done?
yeah, aliens. Yeah, it's
Whoa! Wait a minute, aliens
And
Yeah.
time travel. Don't forget time
yeah,
travel.
by all accounts. Yeah.
in Red Dead Redemption 2, the cowboy game.
Yes.
Yes, they're historically accurate.
What?
Cowboy game.
Yes. Okay. So we've got time travel. We've got
Yeah.
aliens.
Yeah, of course.
Oh man. Okay.
It's all side things.
Yeah,
Side
it
things,
is.
but it still
It is.
has them.
Yeah, and
I
it's
get it.
super fleshed out. It's like these aren't little like, oh look, I saw this. For example, the serial killer. You track down and you find scenes of bodies that then you have to follow little trace notes and stuff like that. It's a whole LA noir type aspect inside the Red Dead Redemption 2.
It is incredible that they can manage to fit all of that into a single narrative and have it all still kind of make sense. To have Arthur Morgan, probably one of the most realistic characters in any game, or fleshed out, layered characters, to go through all of this. It's incredible to just be able to do that.
Also, remember, it's also tying in Red Dead Redemption 1 as the sequel. So it's a whole underlying story so that you know where John Marston comes in.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. So you can
Well,
see.
good job, Dave.
You can
Yeah.
see his development as a character in this game, so that you can understand the development in the character in the first game, which is a weird way of doing it. But
He's
that's,
kind of a
that's-
little shit at the start.
He's
Isn't
not
he?
wrong. He is.
He is, I mean-
He is. There's no
Great.
doubt.
Okay.
No, that was the vibe you were supposed to get, and then you later-
Fantastic. Because
find
he
out
had a
what happens to
girlfriend
him.
and then he ran away.
Yeah, you
almost
mature
got it.
alongside him.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
Actually, honestly, if you haven't played any of the games, playing Red Dead Redemption 2 first is the best move you could make.
Oh,
You just have
okay.
you just have to make do with the fact that, the first game came out in what year was that? Like,
No, I agree entirely. It's
it's like 2010, 2011, somewhere there.
it just got
probably is 2010.
remastered, anyways.
Yeah, but that's fine. I could
I'm trying to
I
think.
could play Red Dead 2 and then I could buy Red Dead 1 for $60. Easy. Thank you, Rockstar.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, it is worth it. I'll give him that. The remaster is supposed to be quite good.
Yeah.
And it
I've
is
heard.
the story, the development, and Red Dead Redemption 1 story is also excellent. It's
It's brilliant.
yeah, it's probably not as good as this one, but it really does blow your mind on the same level that this game does as you play through the story itself.
We kind of keep talking about how good the story is of this game. How far can we go into the story without spoiling anything?
It's really hard because
Very difficult.
yeah, a lot of the plot points kind of tie back to the things later on or beforehand or later on. Arthur Morgan, his decisions he makes are very
It's very linked to a plot point.
yeah,
like a very
it really is.
significant.
a very, very important one. Yeah.
Yeah, like the name Red Dead Redemption really comes into play after a specific plot point. So it's
Oh
like,
wow!
You know what? I only just realised that. As you said that, I only just realised what the Red Dead Redemption part actually means.
That's
okay,
why
I don't
we
know about the Red Dead part, but I know about the Redemption. The
Redemption
Red Dead
part,
still not haven't picked that one yet, but one day I'll understand.
That's why we've got the subject matter expert here, Dave. She can school us.
Oh yes, right. The
Sounding cool on air.
Of course, you got all the history, and like I said, we have the Uber fan in our midst.
Yes.
Oh,
It's now. Now, out of curiosity, again, it's that you've developed a soft spot for cowboys from playing the last one and playing this one, would you say they should make a third one?
Ooh.
Because people because of money and of all the other things that come into Rockstar Games, people say, "Oh, they'll make another one because the online components and stuff like that." Would you want to watch another one? But I guess it would have to be a new protagonist because of developments. Sorry, I just kind of slightly spoiled things there. But go on, sorry.
How do we talk about this?
I know that's true. I just realised that question's a bit like too loaded.
I mean. Technically, the first game came out and we play as a different character, so it's technically not really a spoiler. But that's a loaded question because I know a lot of fans are divided.
Sorry, that's very true.
Why? Why would they be divided? I mean, if the first one is good, the second one's great. Why wouldn't we want a third one? I
know most people are afraid of a quality drop, because it's just then seen as a cash grab. I personally. And I don't know how this would work, but I would love a prequel. I know this is already the prequel, but I would love a prequel to the prequel. I think that's the only way that they can continue the series if they go backwards in time.
I see. Okay, so we then play as a younger Dutch or whatever. Yeah. And Arthur Morgan is a little shit that runs away from his girlfriend.
100%.
There you go. I'm down. I'm playing.
Because the Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place during the death of the cowboy era. We're seeing the modern period start to come in. Bigger cities are being built. The cowboy life and the outlaw life is being just killed off very slowly. So, I mean, by the time the first game rolls around, there are no more cowboys. So there can't be a cowboy game without cowboys. So I would love to...
Sorry,
you're right. Sorry. Please finish.
I didn't even think of that. That's a valid point. Yes, because the
That's
cowboy
where the
era
mega
is dying
fan.
out. Yeah. No, I didn't even think of that. Go on, sorry, Danny.
Sorry. I get so excited talking about this.
No, it's cool.
But so I would either like a prequel showing the origins of the gang, or alternatively a spin-off for one of the characters in the game, like let's say Charles or Sadie. I'm less keen on the spin-off aspect because that's where I feel cash grabs really do come into play.
Oh, look at Modern Warfare. But yeah, go on. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see the game itself. I don't know how to go into this without plot points, but the game starts off on a rather mysterious foot.
Yes.
We don't know actually what happened prior to that. They allude to stuff throughout the games and then went wrong. There was a heist that went wrong. We don't know. And it's funny, we never find out actually the full extent of what happens there.
Are we talking about the incident in Blackwater?
The Blackwater incident, yes.
Correct, yeah.
So that's an ongoing theme. We never find out what happens in Blackwater. So theoretically, we could do a prequel that maybe ends with maybe the start of that.
That is a good idea.
That's a good point.
That is a good idea.
Maybe that's their plan. You're right.
I think. I hope so.
Yeah,
Rockstar, please.
I don't think Rockstar has been known to make drop-offs in quality cash grabs, for sure, 100%. But each game they've released has been better than the previous one. Red Dead 2 has been better than GTA 5. And it seems like GTA 6 is going to be better than Red Dead 2. Have they released anything in between? I don't know.
I can almost hear Danny just fuming. How dare you say it's going to be better than Red Dead 2?
Because of what I said.
Oh, yeah, but it's like I can see the pencil breaking in her hand now. Like what?
I'm like cowboy game versus. I don't know. I actually
twerking on a car.
Here's my truth. I've never played GTA before. So
wait, whoa! Any GTA?
Not
no
one of them.
GTA. I've played GTA Online. It was not for me.
It's kind of
okay. It was not for me then.
Yeah, fair. It's interesting that that's not for you, but it's generally the history aspect. You really love that.
I'm not even a horse girl, but where are my horses?
No, that's cool. I like that. I like that you dive into that gaming and another one of your loves has been able to cross. And you get a gaming and history, and it's all tying itself together. That's really cool. I like that side of things.
Truly, when it's magical when things like this happen.
Yeah.
If I could get back to my point, I don't think Rockstar is the company to make drop-in quality games. So I think when we get a Red Dead Redemption 3, it would probably be an exceptional game, even more so than Red Dead 2. And yes, I think the pre-prequel. That ends in Blackwater is a fantastic idea. I really do hope. Rockstar, if any of your writers are listening to this,
Please.
Of course they are. Of course they
we'll,
are. Right?
we'll take a minimum payment of $10,000.
And Danny
idea.
must be a consultant, right? Because
Yes,
let's face it, she
I would
knows
love
everything,
to
right?
voice an NPC. That is my one requirement. That is all I want.
There you go. That's her demand. Okay, cool. That's. Like I said, we always discussed it where things tie in to life and then a game comes in because even Canton was talking how much he loves the Viking era and then Valhalla came out and you saying you loved just the history, and of course American history is rich and in depth and quite vast, and a lot of Americans love this game just because it's fundamentally their history that's depicted in the game too.
That's a very good point.
I do love how those things crossed, so it just shows how many games out there for different types and different people and different interests actually exist. I just like that. I love that type of thing.
That is a very good point. I did not even think about how a lot of people already click with this game just because it's their not ancestry but lineage, kind of, right? Their grandparents did these things.
Yeah, exactly. They've got forefathers and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
that did these things.
It is very cool, and talked like this. So even the dialogue in this game, I'm sure it could have been ripped straight from actual Wild West conversations. It feels so. What did I say?
Like this, when you said talk like this, I thought you were going to do like a yeah, you was going to do an accent, and I was like, whoa, that didn't change at all. I thought you were going to put on a cowboy. Hey, Pilgrim. No, anyway. Sorry, it just.
Oh yes, we finally got the British person to do an American accent. Woo! Yes, 70 episodes in, it happened.
That was my worst John Wayne impression. History of John Wayne impressions, I might add. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you, Nick. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just think a lot of these conversations feel so genuine. They feel so genuine. The writers do an incredible job to. This touches on audio as well with voice acting, but these conversations not only sound genuine, but the lingo, the words they're using, sentence structures. It's not. You can't just start a sentence with a howdy and then call it a cowboy game. No, they real effort was put into how they talked. I really appreciate that. I'll touch again on this in our audio segment, but
have we got anything else for narrative? Because it is very hard to talk about without actually spoiling
that's
the
plot.
issue.
There's a ton, but we really can't. We really can't. I think if I could get into the setting, because that's a nice segue into visuals. The setting for Red Dead Redemption 2. What's the larger area called? The Red Dead 2 map?
Sorry, I was just going to say America.
Yeah,
it's called America, Nickel.
Yeah. Editor, please add a screeching eagle.
Okay, Danny, that's a question for you. Which part of America is it? Do you know?
I feel like I once read through a Reddit post about this where people were theorizing like, oh, it has to be this specific part of America that it's set in, and then people were arguing, no, it has to be that part. But I think it's actually just a fictionalized version of it that you get like. I would say you probably get like. My American geography is truly shocking.
Yeah, same.
Beyond anything. Because I was like, what, is it Colorado? No, if there's Americans listening to this, I'm so sorry. Whichever area has the mountains, you have that in the game.
Mountains, cactus, and sunsets.
Deserts.
Whichever, that's it.
Yeah.
Wherever that is in America. Yeah, exactly.
I think to be safe, we can just call this map America. That was a good joke, but now it's canon.
It is,
it is canon.
It's just America. Yeah, it's just what it is.
The setting for this game is so absolutely, astonishingly incredible that it doesn't only look good, but the Wild West, the setting, the aesthetic, I almost want to call that a character in itself. Much like the Alone in the Dark games, the Deseto Mansion was a character. The setting here, you call it the Wild West. It's got its own name. It is so impressive and so detached from what we know now as life. I mean, if I walked outside through a couple of bushes. It's not the same as in this game or what this game is trying to portray. It's excellent.
Yeah, that is very true. That's very true. It, like you said, I know that it leads directly into visuals to some degree. Just the atmosphere built narratively and visually, and even just weather-wise in regards to night times and winds and being too hot or being too cold. Yeah, again,
the lightning storms.
Yeah, exactly. The lightning
There's
storms.
There's actual lightning in the game.
It's incredible.
No, it is very good.
I cannot believe that this game was released. Oh, Dave, don't
Yes.
look at the sheet. What year was this game released in?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I won't look at the sheet,
I
but
know.
2000 and...
Yes.
Well, that's a good start, 2000.
Good start, well done. 2000.
18.
Whoa!
Bingo!
I would love to put that down to my brain, but I mentioned earlier I have post-it notes.
Oh.
The 18's literally written on one of them, right there.
To be fair, that was a year for big game releases, though. That was
Yes,
the
true.
year for game releases.
We got
So,
God of War as well.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey was also released. Red Dead was
right.
released.
Yes.
There were quite a few AAA contenders all released at the same time.
I was proud of my post-it, and now you're just recollecting games released in 2018, and I'm going...
To be
"Aw."
fair, I worked on the Odyssey launch. That's the only reason I remember.
Okay.
So cool.
Nah, go on, Nick.
The reason I brought it up is I refuse to believe that this game released 6 years ago. It's 2024. I can say 6 years. 6 years ago. That is insane to me that a game that looks like this is as visually capable as this released 6 years ago. I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, no,
It's crazy.
It is very crazy, and they did. And like I said, I think I remember back in the day, that's what everybody was also blown away by, even with the restrictions in technology we had then, just 6 years ago. This game was kind of a marvel, both visually, story-wise, or it was just a masterpiece. Let's face it. That's what we're here to talk about.
I remember there was this the story about a kid that sent in a screenshot of the game to a news station and tried to to convince them. You know what I'm talking about? Tried to convince them that it was an actual photo he took while he was camping, and everyone believed him. This photo, the screenshot of Red Dead 2 was a photo he took while camping. It's not. It's a screenshot of Red Dead 2, but they aired it on the news. Oh, look at this kid's camping spot.
How beautiful America is. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
It's strangely enough, a weird segue. Actually, in 2022, I don't know if you know of the Virtual Photographer Awards. It's
Yes.
where, this actually won. Red Dead Redemption, us gentlemen, won the Virtual Photographer Award for Red Dead Redemption 2, with just a picture of him on a horse with the sun setting and the mountains all pictured there, and just like a nice western scene. Now, he won that award. And then later on, a bunch of history museums and stuff like that in America actually used that picture instead of real pictures. And there's actually pictures of the guy who won, who's pointing at it, like, this is my picture in the local history museum of that area, which people plagiarized. Yeah, it was quite funny, but good for him. It was actually a very nice picture as well.
It's insane to me that a video game is capable of producing something like that to fool people into thinking it's real, and to have that piece of media have released 6 years ago. Still,
And it's
six?
still holding. It's
It's still
holding its
holding.
ground.
It really is. I've got my PC isn't so good anymore. I've got my GPU's at GTX 1050 Ti.
Same.
Really? Yes.
Same.
1050 Ti's unite. It is
Someone
such
sponsor us, please.
Nvidia. We're open to your sponsorships, but stand in line. Rockstar's first. This graphics card isn't that good anymore. Really, it almost even wasn't when it released.
Yep.
But it can still run Red Dead 2, kind of. And even on the low settings, the game is looking very well done. I cannot laud the visuals enough. I truly cannot.
Like, yeah, it's the amount of detail that's been put in each character, and not even just character, any asset in the game is stupid. Like there is so much, right down to like, I mean, like I think I mentioned prior, I don't know if we had been recording then, but I'm currently staring at a picture of Arthur Morgan because he's on my second monitor and I can't help it. But the amount of detail that is in that man's face, every little scar that is put there, there's no reason that he needed to have that many scars, but they did it anyway, and they did it for us.
They did. Thank you, Rockstar.
One of the things as a old school and maybe more happy than it should is tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed.
Right? Tumbleweed. You know you're in a cowboy movie. You know you're in a cowboy setting when you'll just sit there and tumbleweed goes across the screen. And it just, like that inner child of mine, when I saw it roll across, when there was another cowboy just giving me aggro. And I was like,
of course.
I'm glad you did the sound effect because I didn't know
I'm
if I was
so
going to
glad.
butcher it.
I didn't know if you were potentially both too young to know that one. I was going to go, let me explain that. Back in the day.
There's another running joke, Danny. Dave is old.
I'm like super old. I'm not that old. Mentally, I'm about 50 to 60.
Mentally, I'm like 35, so...
Okay.
that's still super young to me, but yeah, right. No, I'm not. Like I said, I like the old things. I'm the type of guy who wants kids not to play on their lawn, and I liked it back in the day when everybody only had carts and horses, and I don't know, and.
So you'll remember when the wheel was invented, then?
That was a good day. That was a good day.
Okay.
It was great.
Such a nice day. There was specials at the mart. I remember it like yesterday.
Yeah. Anyway, that was. Sorry, Nick. Go on.
No. You go.
Okay, we've jumped into visuals now, right? So, one thing I did like about this, and it's a very weird thing to be very fussy about, it's hair growth. Yes. That's a weird thing to say, just hair growth. Like, I like hair growth. But the fact that Arthur, his beard got shaggier, his hair got greasier, even got dirty. If you didn't go for a bath or you were covered in blood, you literally stayed covered in blood or dirty. Did you not notice that?
Well...
He hasn't made it out of Valentine.
He's just been like going to the shops, just go get some medicine, a bit of tobacco. And Nick.
No, the hair growth is one of the best mechanics I've seen in a video game because it adds that level of realism to it. Like my Arthur, and I don't know if it's just my preference, my Arthur was quite well groomed. And it would annoy me beyond anything where I'd be playing the game, I'd be playing the main storyline, and there would be a time skip in which I couldn't control. And my Arthur would come back, because at one point I had him looking like Doc Holliday from Tombstone. I had the mustache, so obviously everything else but the mustache was shaved in terms of facial hair.
Oh, no,
and then a time skip would happen, and then he would have a beard, and I'd be like, "This is
ruined the immersion." I wanted this immersion, and you made
Hashtag not my Arthur.
But
exactly.
But it's also excellent in the way they do it because the hair growth, apart from the time skips, is also quite slow. Like he'll actually get bristles or a 5-pot shadow and stuff like that slowly, and then after you played the game for like hours, you'd actually get like a fleshed out beard, which then you'd either shave off depending on which Arthur's your type of Arthur. That's actually weirdly impressive. It's weirdly impressive to see someone age to some degree in regards to hair growth and facial hair is kind of a degree of aging.
Sorry, this type of detail is incredible in a game, especially at a game of this magnitude. The scale in this game is huge, and to have detail to that level in a game like this, I can understand that they took 6-7 years to develop this game.
8 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Does make sense. I've only heard of one other game that has quote unquote real-time hair growth, and that was the original Fable.
Oh damn! Yeah, I think you're right. That came out a few years ago. Yeah,
I can't think of any other game
that did have hair growth. I believe not as good as this stuff, but you're right.
No, not anywhere close. I can't think of any other game that had the amount of detail that this game had. Detail and scale. Usually, it's only one of either. No, this game did both, and it's to be lauded. It really should be.
Sorry, Dan.
No, you go.
There was some, but there was some also. So, like you said, we talked about the subtleties. Yes, it's a gorgeous game. Yes, it's got cowboys, guns, and all the other things, and cattle ranches and the things. But the little things that they also show is like, I was kind of blown away with when I was looking at visuals. I just stood in either Valentine or the second town I can't remember the name of. With
Rhodes, I
Me
think.
neither.
Rhodes, thank you, with the warring families, and you can actually see like the wage gap. You can see the impoverished people, you can see the rich people, and you can actually see them, how they behave to one another, just watching them walk by. Like, you'd actually see them talk to one another, or argue with one another, or just stay away from one another. You could see a society, for lack of a better term, just by how it was visually portrayed.
Yeah, this is actually one of the few games where the world actually feels lived in my opinion. No one feels like a randomly placed NPC. Everyone feels like, I'm probably going into a different topic here, but I'm going to keep it brief, but everyone feels like they are living, it's almost like Westworld.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know what you mean.
Exactly that kind of thing. Everyone has their own lives. Every NPC has their own life and storyline that they're currently working through, regardless of whether you interact with them or not. It's insane.
It really is good. That's why I brought it up in narrative. I think the world, the setting itself, is almost a character in and of itself. The Wild West that Rockstar made for Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
It is almost sad that it's only ever going to be in one game.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's got the online element. I think people are still fundamentally playing that, I think.
I don't know.
I tried playing it the other day. It is
really?
very dead and very unsupported.
No.
Oh,
No.
it's very
Makes
dead.
me
It's
sad.
very red.
And it's getting
It's
no
very
redemption.
redemption? No.
And
I
another
see where
weird,
you were going with that.
Thank you.
another weird little fact is that the animals, the horses, and the fauna, the plants and stuff, are actually historically accurate. I also did some digging that the breed of horse, the thyme and the herbs you pick up, and the vultures and the eagles and all the things you pick up were actually associated to that time to be traded amongst the towns and cities. So they actually modeled all the animals in regards to how they accurately look in real life. You could actually look at the certain deer, sorry, and then you could compare it to a deer in the encyclopedia, and they were actually pretty spot on.
Oh,
So,
wow.
another caveat in their cap. Sorry, it's an old expression.
I mean, we can go on and on about the
Yeah, we
visuals
could.
for this game.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the audio.
Go
my
on, audio
first
man.
note here.
That's you.
That is me. There's not even me. There's absolutely no way that I can do this soundtrack justice. There's nothing that I can say to explain to people how excellent and masterful the soundtrack is for this game. It's almost, a lot of people would think you're joking when you play the soundtrack to them and tell them, oh, this is from a video game.
Yeah,
People
no
won't
doubt.
take it seriously
Just
because it's so good.
Little addition, it actually won the 2018 Best Audio Design and Best Score of that year.
Not surprised.
So I'm not surprised. Like I say,
Nope.
it seems
Nope.
like
As
it's
it
well
should have.
deserved. Yeah.
Yes. It's this music in this game could be the soundtrack for the entire Wild West era. Not a game or a couple of movies, but when the Wild West is spoken about, there should be a band in the background playing the music from this soundtrack.
It's one of those other interesting things. I'm going to name someone that, again, is probably just going to show my age a bit. Do you know a gentleman known as Willie Nelson?
Yes, I do.
Of course.
Nick? Oh, good. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Willie Nelson was actually was on board as a consultant in regards to the music.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
he was hired by Rockstar to consult on the outlaw country music is what his kind of genre is, and he was hired by Rockstar to make some or help compose some of the music in regards to the the outlaw aspect of being, of course, Arthur Morgan and
Well,
the
are you
whole crew.
okay? Well, so you're telling me that Rockstar hired actual Willie Nelson?
Yes, actual Willie Nelson.
As opposed to fake Willie Nelson.
Yes. We know
I'm
that
sure
he's
there are a
useless.
couple of fake
Willie
Nelsons.
useless. Yeah, no, the actual.
They contracted Willie Nelson because he was probably alive at this time.
Whoa, but yeah, he is old. I'll give you that. He is an old man.
Whoa! I did not know
was-
that. That's incredible.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
That makes sense, actually.
No, it's cool. He is a figurehead of the Western and country music and all that shit. I was shocked by it too, but I thought it makes a lot of sense. Like I
It
said,
does.
he was the spearheading of all the catchy type outlaw songs, and this has got some of those in as well.
wow.
No, it's very cool.
The instruments used are not only used in the actual Wild West, the banjos, the drums, but also they were instruments reminiscent of those times, which is a genre we now call country music. So it makes absolute sense that Willie Nelson was involved in this, because there's a couple of tracks that is just country music, not even just Wild West, but straight up country. My 50-year-old uncle would unironically put this on in the background and think nothing of it.
No, but that's the thing. When I do my freelance design, I have the soundtrack in the background.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Whoa!
And I'm
like-
not a 50-year-old uncle.
I knew you were like a fan, and I knew you were like a big fan, but now you're like an uber fan. You listen like this.
Good.
This is another level. That's cool. Like I said, that's really cool. Like it helps you focus, or it's just your it puts you in the right zone because you love the whole thing and your love for the game.
It's just good music as well.
It
like
is.
it's good. Like I was gonna say passive music, but I guess when you get like a fight scene, it becomes very unpassive. Like
Yeah,
I think I was doing work once, and I said to my friend, "Why am I feeling so anxious?" And then I was like, "Oh wait, it's like fighting counter music that's playing. That makes sense."
Yeah, I could just see your email to HR was all nice until the end. Sort this out, or you will see in the title. So why did I do that? Oh, it's one of those tracks on the. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. No, like I said, that's cool to know. Another weird fact. Again, I'm going to show my age a little bit. By the way, I'm only like how much older than I am than you, Nick? Like 6 years, 7 years, 6 years,
something like that.
And Nick's only like 12. So.
Oh, okay.
We're fine.
with your 4 kids, yeah. Did you, Nick? You never got anywhere in the game, so it's not really a question to you.
That's not. I got far in the game. I did. I got out of the snow level. There was snow, which I got out of. I killed a couple of people.
Yeah, the snow
I did.
level. Yeah,
There was
that is
Valentine. I got into Valentine. I'm sure that's some ways in the game. I bought 3 horses, Dave.
3 whole horses.
Well, yeah, but you never met a gentleman named Rains Fall, did you?
No.
No, he wouldn't have.
No, exactly. It's pretty much your Indian or Indian, I don't really know, a Native American person that you meet, and he's played by a gentleman called Graham Greene, which you're all going to sit there and go, oh, am I supposed to know who that is?
Who is that?
No,
Yeah,
not
who's
really. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but here's one for you. Now, it's funny because I know Caleb's a big movie buff, so I want to see Have you ever heard of a movie called Dancing with Wolves?
I have heard of it.
Yes,
Haven't
with
watched
Kevin
it.
Costner.
Nice, yeah. Nick does this. He knows the actors in movies, but he's never watched any movie. So yes, the one with Kevin Costner.
I've not watched on.
That's it. But
There you are.
as a weird fact, Graham Greene was also alongside Kevin Costner in Dancing with the Wolves. He also played the chief of the Indian tribe in that movie, and he was
So they got a real a Native American to play the Native Americans in this game.
I would. Oh God, it's great. Graham Greene doesn't sound the most Native American
probably
name,
not.
Yeah.
but I do believe he has some ancestry in that regard, though. Yes.
That would be excellent if
If
they
I'm
did
not
that.
mistaken, they were quite good with the casting
Yeah, they were
of like
pretty
matching.
accurate. Yeah.
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 I'd like to hope that they did get a Native
Yeah, I'm pretty
American.
sure they do.
Okay. That's canon for me now.
We'll just have it canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you've said. Yeah.
Rockstar,
anything
you're
else,
already
Nick?
listening. Yes, no, I got a couple.
Go for it.
There's a bit near the start of the game, which is the part I played. When you step into Valentine and you step into the bar,
Yes.
There's a barman playing on the piano.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, yes, of course. Barman on the piano, of course. He's playing a piece called the Maple Leaf Rag. I don't know if either of you know of that piece, but if somebody would play it, you'd recognize it instantly. It's written by a composer called Scott Joplin, who is the father of ragtime music, which is the earliest form of jazz.
Okay.
And I was thinking, wow, I know this. This is Maple Leaf Rag by Scott Joplin, which was also written during a time like this. He had another big piece that you might know the name of called The Entertainer.
Yeah,
I really wish I did.
I don't know.
Okay.
You're trumping us in this section.
Yeah, damn it. Yeah, he's getting this.
Each time I'd go into that bar, only the one would ever play Maple Leaf Rag, right? And I was thinking, why? Why is The Entertainer not playing? So I checked the dates, which is the big part. The history for this, it blew my mind. The date for Red Dead Redemption 2 is set in 1899.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the year for this game. Maple Leaf Rag, which is the first piece that got famous by Scott Joplin, was also written in 1899.
Whoa.
Right?
That's
so meaning
pretty cool.
When you walk into that bar and you hear Maple Leaf Rag written on the piano, it was written months earlier.
So that's literally like hearing the hits of that, like...
Yes,
that's
yes,
what I call,
exactly.
That's
yes.
what I call the 1900s, right? That's kind of like just released. That's cool. I like that. I like the connection that they... See, that's smart.
That is a crazy attention to detail.
Yeah.
Like,
Not just
exactly.
that, but I was thinking, I know, because I studied this, there's a second ragtime piece that Scott Joplin wrote called The Entertainer. I'm thinking, why do I never hear this when I walk into the bar? And so I Googled that date, and that piece was written 1902, meaning...
after the events of the
Exactly,
game.
exactly!
No!
Exactly! I
That's
was
cool.
blown away. That's why I never hear that one piece, because it's not been written yet.
Wow, that is pretty cool. I almost let you off for not getting past Valentine just for that piece of information alone. That's pretty cool. I like that.
It really is. We keep talking about attention to detail, but I'd be hard pressed to find another person who's noticed that tiny detail, and
No.
Rockstar did it.
Oh, yeah. I would say
No,
you're the
that's super
first
cool.
I've heard for sure. Maybe someone
Yes.
on Reddit has, but
Worldwide, no, they haven't. Reddit.
you check.
Hear it here first. Nick noticed it, and he's the only one who has.
Yes, but that's
cool.
I was blown away by that tiny bit. Besides that, the music is absolutely stellar. I can't do it justice just to put in words how great it is. If we can move over to the voice acting, which is just I know. There's not a single bad performance, I think.
No, it is pretty stellar. It's again
Yeah.
the highest form of voice acting you can get,
truly.
and they
Even
just knock it out of the
better.
park. Yeah.
Even better, it's not just voice acting, it's motion capture. These are
Yeah,
actual
right.
Of
actors
course. Yes.
that are performing each thing. It's like obviously the voice acting is what carries through because we're seeing,
Yes.
we're hearing the voices, but like it just adds so much extra weight to think of the actors actually physically acting out these scenes, especially like can't go into spoiler territory, but there are some very big scenes in the game, and it's like, wow, like the actors weren't just putting their whole voices into it, but they were putting their whole bodies. Like it's next level. It's like watching a movie, basically.
It's one thing we also forgot to mention is that Danny here, she's also done voice acting herself, so you can appreciate it even more, right? Like,
Yep, definitely.
And it's the aspect of being able to portray emotion, desperateness, in just reading words, right? In regards that it's not just being louder or being quieter or something like that. It's actually being able to portray an emotion when stating words. And yeah, they are amazing at it by all accounts.
I've heard it's much more difficult than it looks. Voice acting.
Oh, yes.
It is. You're relying solely on your voice. You can't use your eyebrows. You can't use your facial features. You can't use your hands. Like, I use my hands a lot when I talk. You can't do any of those. I mean, you can. Maybe it will help, but no one will see it.
Yeah.
It's a difficult form of acting. So, yeah, they really... The voice actors they got for this are beyond... Like, it is a stellar cast.
I get it. I think the voice actors for this are kind of set up for life. I don't know about financially, but they have now been immortalized in probably one of the biggest games ever.
Oh,
most definitely.
Much like you still hear the voice actors for GTA 5, Michael and Franklin, and especially Trevor. I mean,
I would assume
that game's 10 years old. You still get clips from
but
Trevor.
It's released every year, so it doesn't feel 10 years
Oh,
old.
right. Okay, of course.
I mean, if we're just talking about how like authentic the voices sound as well, because it's not just like speaking. These are also people putting on, obviously, the Western, the very cowboy way of speaking. But it even blows my mind further. I don't know if any of you have heard Roger Clark speak. He's the voice actor for Arthur Morgan. He's an Irish man.
Wow.
He's Irish?
He's Irish.
Clark,
Whoa, okay.
So it's the actual studying of the dialect and stuff and then putting that forward. So that's crazy. It's, it's impressive. Like, and it's always kind of fascinating because a lot of the best voice actors always seem to have like a strong accent. And that seems to help in regards to doing other accents or adding emotion to accents. I don't know if that's just me or I've just noticed these things.
No, I think you're right.
It's really strange, especially, I'm a bit biased here, but the British accents, you hear a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 voice actors, I believe, are British because, I don't know, it's cool for games. I don't know. But you hear that they've also got different London borough type accents and different areas of England, and it's that part of their voice that they're able to change and add emotion to that kind of helps.
I think even this year, the two top performers in voice acting for video games, what's his name? Ben Starr and Neil Newman. They're both British.
Well, yeah, I'm beaming with pride, obviously. Of course they're British. It's a given.
They do call it the fantasy accent. Think of any fantasy movie that's had an American accent. None.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I mean, the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I knew he was going to bring that up. I knew he was going to bring that. He's a big D&D
No. We
fan,
shan't. We shan't speak bad about Dungeons and Dragons on this show.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's not like Lord of the Rings tier.
No. It's not even close.
Very few things are.
It's closer to Star Wars than Lord of the Rings.
Star Wars is far better than Lord of the Rings. Obviously, we all know that. Sorry,
here we go. The question, Danny: Star Wars or Lord of the Rings?
Yo, I was raised on both.
Oh.
But you see, the thing is, I have a Star Wars tattoo and not a Lord of the Rings tattoo.
Whoa, she's one of us. I'm so happy. Oh, what tattoo, if I may ask?
I have a Death Star on my arm.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sorry.
On Steam, my name is Dan Solo, so...
Yes, that's so cool.
Damn it.
That's so brilliant. There you go.
I just should not have asked.
Yeah, you leaned into that, and then
I did.
With your whole back.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's really cool, but Lord of the Rings.
All
is
that
so much
cool
better.
stuff about the audio now, you just blew that out the water. You just, Anyway, anything else audio-wise?
No, I'm good.
I mean, if we could audio, I suppose that narration, it all comes into the same thing. It's just the fact that you can overhear people's conversations is crazy to me. It goes back into characters, though, I suppose.
Ooh, there is one bit I think that I just want to mention. Near the start, well, everything I'm talking about is near the start. There's a part where you need to go collect money that got lent at a farmer, and he doesn't have the money, so you have to beat him up.
Yep.
And then his wife and son comes to help, and then you ride away on your horse.
Yep.
That's right, yeah.
There's a part where you ride through the woods or on a trail, and the cinematic camera activates, and then a track plays. I can't remember what it's called. And I'm thinking about me as Arthur Morgan beating up this farmer man who's just trying to make an honest living. And the game is making me think about that. The game is manipulating me with the cinematic camera and the sunset and the music into making me feel bad about what I just did. And it's so incredible when a game, an art piece, can evoke an emotion from the viewer or the player. That's exactly what art is supposed to do. And this is just a tiny segment. This is a 5-minute window, and the game was able to get that from me by just using audio. I talk about this all the time. The audio for a game is much more important than people think.
100%.
No, agreed, yeah, entirely. It's one thing that people play games and then kind of just ignore it until you take it away, and then you realize, whoa,
exactly,
this is just quiet and kind of boring.
Yes.
The audio is super important.
I do not get 14-year-olds that play with the audio off.
People do that?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I don't
Why?
get that much either.
I don't know, because there's streamers on the second monitor or something.
Yeah, it's the second monitor, the whole second monitor spiel. I think you're right.
That's an entirely
My second monitor just has a picture of Arthur Morgan. I would play with you.
Permanently, that's it. You don't use that monitor.
It sounds like I have a shrine set up right next to me. I swear I don't.
I've got to ask now. Is it like a look of disdain he's giving? Is he smiling? Like, what is this? Is this like...
He's not. He is looking... Okay, let me try to describe this. He is looking over his shoulder. He has expressions on his face. I don't know what they are. They are like a... He's looking intently into your soul.
Ah, okay.
So he's looking at...
It's the quintessential, like, I don't know, the Arthur Morgan that I suppose... I was going to say the trailers portray, but the trailers actually portray him to be quite a nasty guy, actually.
Yeah,
and this is a complete other segment, but I was watching the trailers again the other day because, you know, as it goes, I do try sell this game to people quite frequently, despite not being... I don't work for Rockstar.
Not yet, but yeah.
Yet. I sell this game to people constantly, and I just send the trailer to someone, and I was like, oh, doesn't this game make you want to be an outlaw, though? And I watched it, and I was like, they really portray Arthur to be an absolutely horrible person in this trailer. And then you play the game, and it's, I mean, you can play him as a horrible person.
But that's kind of like the underlying part of the story as well, right? It's kind of him and the cowboy aspect of his life slowly coming to an end, and does he actually?
Redemption.
Yeah, that's right. I see what you did.
This is the perfect segue to move into gameplay as how you play Arthur, right?
Yeah, true.
They've got this good bad. Oh, the Paragon. I'm going to call it the Paragon system. Caleb's going to be so proud of me.
I'm sure he is.
The Paragon system where you are either good Arthur or bad Arthur.
Yeah.
So basically, a good decision versus a bad decision.
Yes, or stealing or not stealing, killing an innocent or simply just slapping them on the wrist. There's a big part of this game that does that.
Okay, I have to admit something. I wanted to play a good Arthur throughout.
No.
But sometimes...
Yes. Say it, Dave.
No. Sometimes the control scheme... I played it on the PlayStation, so I don't really know. Sometimes I would accidentally shoot innocent people.
Yes.
It was not my fault. And I ran over
That does not happen. You don't accidentally shoot someone.
I accidentally punched my horse in the head. It happens.
You don't accidentally... Okay, this is...
See?
I'm so glad this is the conversation now. I do not want to be the first to say this, but the gameplay for this game isn't so great.
It isn't
so great.
I've got a list of things here that you can do in the game, right?
Yes.
Forgive me for a second. It's horse taming, horse stealing, horse riding, hijacking trains, stagecoaches, random events, companion tasks, dueling, bounty hunting, collectibles, poker, blackjack, dominoes, five-finger fillet, hunting, fishing, herb and flower picking, battling, collecting cards, and fist fights. And they're the only ones I could remember. Jeez. So there's a ton in this game, as well as all the weird compendium things, the sharpshooter, the collectible side of things. So this game is absolutely chock-a-block full of gameplay.
Did your list include horse riding?
Yes.
You can take that off.
Why did you not ride a horse?
No.
He didn't get the chance.
No, Valentine. He was still just walking around Valentine.
Horses.
Sorry, go on.
He's actually the horse expert. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Go on, Nick.
I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, or it could possibly just be me. But this game could possibly have the worst handling for any horse riding game I've ever controlled.
You have never played an Assassin's Creed game.
that's true. The horse handling is
okay, yes, probably.
That's true. That's very true.
There wasn't a single outride where I was able to keep my horse on the path or control him like I should. There's
Sounds like a skill issue.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing. That sounds like a skill issue.
Maybe I'm just bad at video games. There's a part where you need to chase down one of your ex's brothers who joined a cult.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
He
In Valentine,
climbs on his horse and he starts riding away like a pro. I climb on my horse and my horse immediately turns around and rides into a fire.
That also sounds accurate to Red Dead Redemption.
I have to ask the question. Are you sure you jumped on your horse?
What do you mean?
Also.
You can jump on other people's horses, and if you haven't tamed them, they will try to buck you off and not listen to you.
Yep.
I jumped on my horse.
Are you
the
sure?
handling in
with
this
the
game?
horse?
Did you
Yes,
bond?
yes, I did. I kept it's L3 or R3 on PlayStation.
Did you
I
feed it crackers
I
and
spammed
apples?
that. Arthur Morgan was next to the side
This
of
sounds
my
like
horse's
bad
neck,
horse,
more than on top
management.
of him. No, the handling for fine. This is my opinion,
That's fine.
but the horse handling is the worst.
Okay. The only thing, and now there was a big debate online, and I do kind of get it. For the first time in in a Rockstar game, they made the missions quite linear.
That's right.
Each scenario had to go the way they wrote it. Now, you could do some good things and some bad things in between, but there wasn't really the ability to take path A, B, C, or D. It was kind of just A, but you can wander a little bit. Now, lots of people point out it's the first Rockstar game that actually kind of makes you do it, and people were frustrated by your mission failures if you accidentally did this, or like you said, if somebody runs away and you got to restart the whole mission again.
You accidentally kill in inverted commas, a character that you don't like. Oh, mission failed.
So you were like, "Oh, this is the perfect mission. We're alone. I can just get rid of this guy." Oh no!
Oh
Rockstar.
yeah, I mean, it's not a spoiler to just say I hate Micah. I killed Micah every opportunity I tried. I would fail the game every time, but I would still do it, and I'd do it again.
I'll give you it's a story point again, but Micah was the worst. For the first few hours of the game, Micah is just portrayed as the worst, and you're literally going, Dutch, why is he here? Why is he
let him
here?
in.
Yeah. Everybody else is pulling their weight and everything else. Micah is just an ass.
Well, he also just joins the game at the beginning. I mean, he joins the gang at the beginning of the game, and everyone's kind of just like, I can't understand why this man's trying to call the shots. He's the newbie here. Why? I don't think people like him very much just in the game itself, not even as players. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you spoke about this game's linearity, Dave. Would we then prefer a game as linear as this, but then also to reach such narrative heights, or would we prefer a more open structure game where the fun is what you make, but not hit such narrative heights?
So you're basically like Skyrim, right? Because Skyrim's got lacking in narrative, but lots of things do. And Elden Ring, for example, another same thing where the gameplay is great, but the story's kind of it's okay. I think with Rockstar you can actually have a bit of both. I might be wrong, Danny. Was Red Dead Redemption 1 this linear? I can't remember.
I last played it in 2013, so it was like 11 years ago now. But I remember it being very linear.
Oh, it is. So it's okay. And
I think the Rockstar franchise might be very linear.
It depends on, like I said, I know, like you said, GTA is not your type of game, or you did. Their games are mainly got an openness in regards to their missions. Now, some of them,
especially the earlier games like Vice City, San Andreas, GTA 3 specifically.
5, I'd say, has quite a aspect to it. You can go in there and sneak by if you didn't want to kill everyone. It's not big changes, but it has the openness to change.
Yeah.
And I get it. I was frustrated, and it sounds like both you two were, that sometimes missions would go wrong, or you couldn't do it the way you wanted, and then you had to go by the story keys instead of doing it your way. Which, I kind of err on the side that was frustrating. There were lots of times, and the checkpoints would take you right back to the beginning. That would drive me nuts.
That's
the not being able to exit the game, like, because you haven't reached a specific checkpoint as well, is it can be frustrating. It can also be a lovely excuse to keep gaming.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But it's, it wouldn't be the same game if it wasn't linear. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's
That's very true. That's very true.
It is trying to tell a story. It's trying.
That's it.
That's the point of playing this game, is actually going through the narrative.
Yeah.
What I was trying to get at, if with a game as linear as this, or let's compare it to something like The Last of Us, it wouldn't be able to reach such narrative heights without being as linear as it needs to be.
No, I understand what you mean. And you're right. There's an argument for that.
I will say I have something interesting without going into spoiler territory. I do feel that the game does let you choose to be good Arthur or bad Arthur. But the game definitely, or at least for me it feels like, and I know a friend of mine who's recently started playing it, I won't say it was my influence, but he has also felt that the game pushes you more towards a good Arthur than a bad one.
Oh.
No, I agree.
So,
okay.
Technically it is a choose your own adventure kind of vibe, but they very much do push you story-wise into wanting at least wanting to be a good guy.
It makes sense. Redemption is in the name.
It would be, exactly right. It's the point Danny made earlier, the redemption. It would be weird if you weren't redemptive? I don't in regards to your action. Yeah, the English word. Redemption?
Redeemed?
Redeemed.
Yeah, it would be weird if he wasn't trying to redeem himself. If he was just getting meaner and meaner as the game went on.
Yeah.
So it would push you down that track.
I know that was a thing that people were upset about, because it was, it was actually sold as a can be either or, but then the game kind of forces you down. And I know that was a point of contention.
No, that's true. It's very true.
I wouldn't know, because I've done a couple of playthroughs. I've actually only finished the game once, but I've done a lot of other playthroughs where I get to various points and I just I don't stop playing for a specific reason, but I have tried to do a bad Arthur playthrough so many times, and I cannot.
It just doesn't feel right, or
it doesn't feel right, but I also hate being mean to people, and I know there are a bunch of pixels on my screen, but I can't antagonize people.
There are we all.
I have to say howdy.
I find it hard to do the dark decisions too. Even when you'll look online and you'll see walkthroughs, kill this guy because he gives you the best axe or best loot, and you go, but he's nice. I can't just kill him for a shiny new piece of metal, can I?
Oh no.
Yeah, I find those hard.
Am I going to be the outlier again?
Yes.
It's so easy. Just kill the NPC.
That's dark. But then you're a Dark Souls type of player, right? So you don't mind killing.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah, that's your jam.
I would say it's also harder to do in the Red Dead Redemption universe because, like I said, it feels like every single NPC has a whole family back home.
Yes.
They've been working, you see that they're at the end of their work day. They've had a rough day at work. You know that they're going home to their wife's dinner. Maybe they have a couple kids. Everyone feels so worn down in that game that it's just every time I think of killing someone for loot or something, it's not really spoilers because they're random encounters. You'll come across a treasure hunter and he'll have a map, and it's you have to pay $250 for the map. That's just an example. Or you could kill him and take the map.
Definitely kill him.
I'm not gonna lie, I also do. I don't have $250. I will avoid at the beginning of a game.
Whoa. You can rob him. There is a middle ground. You can rob that man.
I don't think you can.
You didn't have to kill him.
He would have lost his fortune, and it would have left him with mental scars.
Oh, okay.
Shame.
So
That's poor guy. Let's kill him.
Oh, okay.
Let me sleep.
So you build a narrative. Okay, I'm with you. Anything else gameplay?
On a side note, was I also the only one who felt the shooting mechanics were quite slow? Because the shooting mechanics do, in fact, feel slow. But after thinking about it for a while, is that not also the point? To try and make your actions
are you talking
feel
about
weighty and impactful?
Are you talking about Deadeye?
No. Deadeye?
Just normal.
Oh my god. Did you just
I don't
say
think
Deadeye?
No, okay.
Deadeye.
With a question mark. Was that Deadeye with a question mark?
No, it
think
wasn't.
he's
No, it
there.
wasn't. Don't bully me.
Nick, are you there?
I used Deadeye, I think, twice.
Okay. Well, that's... Yeah,
And then I forgot which button it was.
That is fair.
That's
I
fair
too
enough.
have to Google sometimes.
But you're right. With taking into account most of the guns are either revolvers or
Shotguns.
rifles and shotguns that take a long
Yes.
time to reload and stuff. Yeah, I believe the gunplay was slowed down to be accurately correct. I believe so.
Was-
It is quite slow.
I feel dumb every single time. I need to. No, wait.
Sorry.
That's not the end of my sentence.
There's your
Sorry.
sound bite right there. That's
I
my
d-
god.
I feel dumb every single time I need to get out of cover just to cock my rifle.
Okay, the cover mechanics, I thought maybe something was wrong with me. I struggled with them, so I would just go in
Right.
guns blazing.
No, I agree. The cover mechanics weren't the greatest in this game.
No.
They were
no.
kind of wrong. Yeah.
And neither was the horse riding. Say it out loud.
No, it was fine.
No.
My horse
Neither was
liked
the
me.
horse. Okay, fine.
I think
Fine.
it's a
get it.
skill issue.
Yeah, it is a skill issue. At one point, you can drift with your horse. You can drift.
Yes.
round
You can drift?
corners. You can
Like
drift.
you're in Tokyo?
Yeah, exactly. So you just be nicer to horses, Nick. Jeez.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can-
Drifting?
yeah, drift and cool stops. Like, yeah, it's great. You just gotta be nice, feed the horse carrots and crackers and stuff like that.
I do. I gave my horse rice crackers. And I think berries.
Did you pat him?
Yeah,
Yes.
Did you pat it?
While
Did you
riding
brush him?
the
Did
horse?
you brush him?
Did you brush him?
I brushed
brush him,
him
did you?
once, and then I
yeah.
don't know when I was supposed to stop brushing. So to be safe, I brushed for I think it was 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I kept brushing. I fed berries and rice cakes and a carrot. But I don't know what it was. It's not a skill issue.
Okay, if you say so.
It's not.
Anything else gameplay? Like I said, we know it's all in depth. The poker is poker. The dominoes is dominoes. The 5-finger fillet was kind of difficult. I don't know. Did you find that game hard? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wait a minute. I just got a message from Danny. Her internet dropped.
Oh damn. Do you want us to pause?
I'm back.
Oh, you're back?
Oh, she's back.
Sorry, my internet dropped.
I know it happens. Yeah.
It happens. Are we able to move on to what's the next part? Performance.
Yeah, sure.
You
Did-
good, Danny?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, performance-wise, what did you think, Nick? Because we've got the bias, we like the games. So, as a newbie, as an open-eyed player to these types of games, what do you think performance-wise?
Okay, let me just another disclaimer. I do like this game.
You
I
just
do
don't
like this
horses.
game. I think
go on.
I just maybe like it more if I looked at someone playing it instead of
Okay.
playing it myself.
As in someone playing it with the skill to play it properly, as in not to have the hang-ups and
Yo.
stuff like that. I don't mean that in a mean way. No. I watch people play horror games because I don't like playing horror games. I'm just saying in the same because they play it well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The same thing. You'd like to watch somebody fluidly play the type of game compared to.
I
me
guess
getting
so,
frustrated
yes.
by
I
it.
think
Okay.
that is what I would need to really get invested in this game. I think that is what I would need. Someone who can ride the horses and shoot someone skillfully.
Yeah.
I think that would make sense. But regarding performance,
Well, I had 2 performance issues. Sorry, I
you
didn't mean to
did.
interrupt, sorry.
My only performance issue was the horse riding.
Well, there's on the internet. There's a very big one where people talk about the pacing. I don't know if this is under performance or narrative and stuff like that. We all know that the snowy level and aerial or the tutorial's kind of slow.
I did warn Nick.
Yeah, it's a
It
schlep,
was
right?
a bit slow, yeah.
And even the distractions of the world kind of stops a lot of people from continuing the story because you've got the sub-missions and you've got the mysterious time travel things you come upon, and you've got looting houses and making money and hunting things. Sometimes the story became less interesting than the side quests. But that kind of turns up a lot more later on in the game. It gets far more. You get far more invested in the story as like later on, and that later on, that slow part at the beginning, a lot of people complain is just paced a little too slow.
Would that not rather be an issue with just simple game design? And the fine line between an open designed game such as Skyrim or whatever and a linear game like The Last of Us, and if you try to combine those two, it gets much trickier than you think, and issues like this start to pop up.
I also wonder if it is slow. My brother has. It just sounds like I convert people to play this game constantly. My brother's just started playing it.
You'll start seeing Morgan on his TV screen or on his computer screen. Like,
it's actually on his TV screen.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I was watching him on Christmas Day play the snowy level, and I was like, I kept saying to him, "I promise it gets better."
Yeah, it's true.
It gets better. Once you reach Valentine, and then you got to Valentine, and I was like, I don't remember it being this slow.
Yeah, right.
I promise it gets better. So the pacing, I think, it is a little bit frustrating, but in the greater scheme of things, I think it narratively makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you get my drift, those who have played the game will.
This is a slow burn. It really is, and it has its place, right? I'm just thinking, if Rockstar is trying to butter their bread on both sides by having this a linear narrative, fully driven game, and also this open design, open world, colossal game, it's not almost stunting it a bit.
Yeah, that's true. I can imagine that would be hard to do. Yeah, I'm sure.
I know people who have quit at the snow level. Like, I literally know someone who has literally been like, I could not get through the snow level, so I gave up on the whole game. So I feel like it is definitely a risky. The snow level, I actually don't understand why it is so long.
No, same. I don't get it. I really
don't get it. But in terms of like, let's talk about the Valentine stage of things. I purposefully think that it is slow because it goes into storyline. I don't know. It shows how things are okay, and then all of a sudden they are not okay.
Yes, well,
to put things really vague.
Valentine, yes, of course, you're completely correct. And you're right. They're in theory on the run, and the big scenario just happened, so they're trying to collect themselves, which of course isn't particularly like a big story aspect. They're trying to gain money back, trying to kind of plan what to do next, which is kind of slow in its own premise.
It's intentional, but it's risky.
Yeah.
I get it.
Can I tell you the biggest performance problem?
Please do.
And this was huge.
I didn't get any other
because there wasn't a time.
I'm struggling
in this game when I was playing this that this didn't drive me mental. Is okay. You've come back from a hard day of robbing or hunting. You're on your horse. You drive past the lookout, and they say, "Hey, Arthur," and you say, "Hey, Charles." Or whatever. You go in. You tie up your horse, and you think, "Oh, I got to go take these birds and stuff to the butcher," and then you run. No, you don't. You don't run.
Yes.
You walk. You only can walk.
In the camp.
Every single time in the camp, for some reason, you cannot like run, jog, walk fast. You slowly have to strut. And it drove me so mental. You could. It took minutes.
The snapping point.
It was like, I've got a horse. I can run everywhere else, but in camp, because of it's because it's civil or something, you have to slowly strut and say, "Hey, you," and "Hey,
I'm with you."
Oh, it drove me nuts. Sorry.
I get you. Like, you could almost run your horse into camp,
yes,
and then at some point it will force you to get off the horse, and then you'll just immediately be slow motion from then on.
It was a hard block, just like, no. Get off.
And if we're talking about like Horseshoe Overlook, which is the Valentine camp, Arthur's tent is really far away from.
That's true. Jeez, that's very true.
That's where I am still. Horseshoe Overlook,
the best camp. I will
say it is a very
nice
good camp, but all the tents look the same. I am embarrassed to admit that I got lost in Horseshoe Overlook.
Sorry, what?
I could not find my tent. I walked into every single other person's tent.
They don't actually look that similar, though.
No, there's like
they weren't
three,
my tent.
Isn't there? There's the main tent with Dutch in.
Yes.
There's your tent near the wagon.
Yes.
Like
There's a couple of lean-tos.
Yeah, it's a couple of
Abigail sleeps in one.
Yeah, that's about it. Like,
I mean, I'm slowly realizing by doing episodes of this podcast that I might just be bad at video games.
Well,
No.
it's different genres for different people,
You might just be
right?
blind. There's a difference.
It could be.
That's
I'd
right.
rather be blind than bad at video games.
Oh, of course, yeah, right? Who wouldn't? Yeah, that's weird. You couldn't find his, like, I'm trying to
I
think
found
if
it
it's
eventually.
confusing.
I found it eventually, so
Eventually.
I'm good.
Am I not insane in saying that there's on your mini-map a little symbol that tells you where his tent is?
There might be.
Didn't you
I think it might just be my dumb monitor that I
won't
could
push.
not
But anyway,
read the difference between a cursive
we'll
A
stop
and
bullying
a
you
cursive
now.
D.
Yeah.
We'll
Thank
stop
you.
bullying you. It's
What?
fine.
Appreciate
Because,
it.
sorry,
Go on.
I have a gripe.
go on, go for it.
I
Yes.
understand why they did it, but there are chores that you have to do in the camp to keep the camp happy. And I understand why you would need to do them, because in real life, I'm pretty sure everyone would have to pull their weight.
Yes.
But if you think the walking in camp is bad, the chores take away at least 5 years of your life every single time you do one of them.
Yeah,
Why?
those are mind-numbing. I get you're trying to build a community and, like, you got. Well, let me point out, I'm putting $200 in the coffer, and
Yes.
like they're putting $3, and like
Mike
an
is
apple.
putting a belt buckle in
Yeah.
and calling it a day.
Yeah, they should be pulling their weight in chores. I'm out hustling and robbing and cow herding. Yeah, I agree. The chores were just mundane and just.
This game is deep. This game is layered. This
Yeah.
game is excellent. Is this game fun?
Yes.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will die on this hill.
I'm about to say that was a hanging question, but it's definitely fun. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Then I will also think it is fun.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I will succumb to this peer pressure.
coming in. Yeah. Anything
Like,
else
there-
performance-wise?
We've got
There
any-
are aspects that are boring, but
Yeah.
like,
yes.
I think any game has those.
you know, boring, the opposite of fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, like when we point out the chores and stuff like that and the slow bits, it can be boring, but
Yes.
I would say once you really get into the game and the stakes get higher,
I agree.
the storyline ramps up,
Yeah.
the characters then start actually developing properly, because right now they're kind of just your gang members, but the characters, they become like, I know they're supposed to be their own people, but like, I don't know, the depth
I
just
see.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. The
There
story
are-
cues add to the ante when it comes to everything else in the game. So yeah, you're right. It's because you haven't quite got there yet, Nick, and I say
Yes.
quite like in inverted commas. There is a lot of story that then adds the chore nature, the working together thing, just amps it to 10, and the decisions you make, it is very encompassing
Yeah.
in regards to what you do.
I'd have loved to, but a game that is 100 hours long and it's such
yeah.
a slow burn, it's just difficult to do when you need to review every week and you've got 4 kids.
that's fair.
Yep.
That is very fair. Yeah, no.
It took me a long time to finish the game. I had to do it in like stints, not because of any. It just life gets in the way.
Yeah,
It
I had to
really
do
does.
like little bits of game across maybe like a year or something. Life got in the way.
Just to finish off our previous conversation, I think the writers, the developers, the voice actors, everyone does a really good job at humanizing the NPCs in this game. A person like Dutch, or that's a perfect example, hating on Micah is so easy to do because he's been humanized so well into such an awful human being. I'm not sure if he gets an arc eventually.
Oh, he gets an arc.
Great.
Oh, he definitely
Oh,
gets
he
it.
gets an arc. No doubt.
Okay. But it's so easy to have these feelings for these characters because they've all been humanized so
I have such
well.
a good point on that. Like once again, I cannot mention storyline, but it gets to a point in the story. It like kind of reaches a crescendo
Yes.
where it started to affect me personally. Like my own like mental, well, maybe I'm just really into the
whoa.
game, but I would like play the game, then I'd come out of my room or whatever, and this was when I was still living with my family, and my mom would be like, is Arthur okay?
Oh, wow. That's nice. I'm glad your mum's
My mum would have no concept of what this game was, aside from being a cowboy game. And she knows that the main character is called Arthur, but I would come out looking so, like, distraught or so, like, angry or whatever had happened in the game that my family got so emotionally invested in this game without even having any context.
Well, I love that.
So I think that's a
love
testament.
that. I love the idea. It's like,
great.
did something happen to Arthur?
Yeah, literally.
Do you need me to make a coffee or some hot chocolate? It's something like that.
Or that's
I
the
love
meme.
that. That's
The
great.
dad asking, "Are you winning, son?"
Are you winning,
Yeah,
son?
literally.
That's
That was
so
my
cool.
family.
That's so cool.
Let's move on to value for money, because I think this is turning into our longest episode yet.
Yeah, potentially.
Because I'm in it.
Yes. Value for money for a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 is not even a question.
Yeah,
The value is absolutely insane here. $60 is easy enough money to pay for a game as big, as detailed, as absolutely colossal as this.
No, exactly right. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
Sorry, Danny.
No, just
No, it's one of those
Sure.
things. I wrote down this little note, especially in regards to its online feature. And now Daddy's like, oh no, but there's no one there. I was like, oh.
if they were 12-year-olds with money and their parents' credit cards like they do with Shark cards in GTA, maybe the online would be better.
That's
but
true.
unfortunately, GTA sucked the life out of
That's a
Red
shame.
Dead Online.
That's a shame.
Oh, but speaking of 12-year-olds, if you'd be 12, if imagine you're 12, like me, and you get to buy one game a year on your birthday, this would be a perfect fit.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
it's a weird
okay,
question
wait a minute.
to ask
Okay,
Danny. Tell you this is a favorite game, so she's going to go, actually, Nick.
How
Actually.
about
I
you
would buy
then,
this
Dave?
game every year, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Every year that I turn 12. I would buy
Yeah.
this.
How about you then, Dave?
No, I agree. Value for money wise, yeah, back in the... And, of course, I'm the age where games are expensive, but you did only get it once a year. This is definitely the pick. Even, and it's perfectly a good example, being 12, and this was also like a risky 18, just makes you want to have it more.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would definitely...
Right.
I would have bought this. I would have convinced my parents, oh no, that's 18. That's only the online feature. The rest of the game's all PG, and you just
You don't really skin foxes. You just pick up a pile next to the fox that you just killed.
But yeah, value for money wise, this is massive. There's so much
100%.
there. There's
The
so
game
much.
came out on console, and then I had to wait a whole year because I didn't have a console to get it on PC. And when it did, I didn't even hesitate to buy the most deluxe version of the game.
Whoa.
Nice.
I didn't care. I wasn't earning money at the time as well. I was a university student. I had no money. I made a plan. Just like Dutch, I made a plan, and I got myself that money to buy the game.
I just picture you with a bandana around your face now, with like, give me your money.
Oh, yes.
I need to
Outlaw
get Red
Danny.
Dead. Right? Yeah, I'm about to say.
Just
One more score.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually stealing from a moving train to be able to afford this game.
I would commit crimes for this game.
Whoa, that's a statement right there.
Wow.
FBI.
That's recorded.
Yeah, but say
Anyway.
that's a soundbite right there. Yeah.
Are we done? Have we
Scores?
reviewed Red Dead Redemption 2? It's such an impossible game to review because of its size, and it's just
The spoilers as well.
the spoilers. Eventually maybe there could be an episode when I get around to finishing the game, talking about the spoilers. It's such that an hour and a half isn't enough, really.
No. I could be here for a full day. I'm not exaggerating.
But I'm
If you ever do a spoiler-free review, I'm here for it.
Oh.
Yeah, that will be a long episode, because damn.
Yes, that's a long episode. But this game, it's such a treat to finally be able to play it. Even though I didn't get very far, it is such a treat to finally get around to this, because it's been 6 years and I'm only playing it now. I feel I have filled some sort of hole. I feel happy.
It's like a bucket list, right? Like a bucket list of
yes,
games.
definitely. My video gaming bucket list. So thank you for bringing this to the show, Daddy.
No, of course. It's an honor and a privilege. But this is my favorite game, and I like talking about it. So
Makes complete sense.
I'm forcing people to play it.
We all scored Red Dead Redemption 2 how we think it should be scored. And we put all of those scores into one big bucket. We put it out in the snow for 5 whole missions. 5 whole missions. It was out in the snow, which is just too long. A lot of people lost interest in the scores in the bucket. A lot of people picked it back up a year later, but it was still the snow level. You still had to do 3 more missions. Surprise. But eventually, after the snow melted and the game finally started opened up, our scores matured into the letter grade rating of A-. Yeah, round of applause. We got another A. A-, but it's an A.
We are pretty sure that our formula here, you need to get 100% 10s to get like an A+. So
yes.
And
it's never going to happen.
Yeah, it really isn't. I don't think there's no such game that's going to achieve that.
Yeah.
But an A- here is a masterpiece fundamentally.
Yes.
I feel like I need to tell people that I didn't actually give it a 10 out of 10 for everything, though. Just a disclaimer.
What's your lowest score? What was your lowest score? 8?
An 8, yeah. It was an 8.
Gameplay. Yeah.
Yours, Dave?
9. Oh, I'm often quite a bit mean.
No, there's an 8. I can see
there was 2 8s. Do we want to talk about your 6?
No, I don't think we should.
Okay, by all accounts. It is an A. It is an A game. It's a definite one on the bucket list.
Everyone is. Please, everyone, don't listen to our scores. Don't listen to my 6 that didn't happen. Just go play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't listen to you should not listen to review scores. If you like a game, go play it. Exactly. If it ends up being good, support the developers. Or support the developers before you play the game. That's how it works. But thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. If you'd be so kind to leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening this on, it'd be mad fun. That's my one and only time attempting.
Yeah, don't do that again. Yeah.
I'm not going to. You can rather follow us on our social media channels. Instagram or YouTube, I think, is the 2 we're most active on now. Or you could catch us on email. I'm nick@criticalarcade.com.
And I'm Dave at criticalarcade.com.
But besides your email, Dave, where else can we follow you?
Well, I will be out and about, but I have managed to, using technology and AI and stuff, I have managed to bring Micah to life. And if you do find me out and about there, I will handcuff him to your hand, and you will spend the rest of your life perpetually having to deal with him. Or you can just send an email or follow us on Instagram and YouTube.
Do that. Do that. Don't follow Dave. That sounds horrible. Rather, follow Danny. Danny,
yes.
If you've got any plugs, now's the time.
I am literally Psychedelose on every platform known to man, pretty much. So you'll probably find me there. Lots of cosplay stuff, lots of gaming stuff, lots of geeky stuff, I guess. So there's usually something for everyone.
Great.
Yeah, you've got to follow her. Like I said, she's doing amazing stuff out there, especially in sunny South Africa. Her cosplay is amazing, by the way. Like, she just says casually cosplay. It is like, whoa. Like,
I think it is the best in the country.
People often say I cosplay, and you go, yeah, and then they get out a sword. And I'm not trying to be like look down on them, but then you see Danny's cosplay, and you go, whoa, you actually cosplay.
That's cosplay. That's how you do it.
Yeah, it's
remarkable. Cry.
No, it's very good. It's insane. But yeah, by all means, follow Danny. She's doing great things, and I might point out she's one of the nicest people out there. And everybody else says that, by the way, Danny. Yes. Everybody tells us you are a sweetheart. Doesn't matter where we go.
That's really sweet.
And it's very true.
Yep.
You could, after following Danny and supporting her, you could then come back around to Critical Arcade and support us on our Patreon for exclusive content like Critical Cinema and our post show and loads of other cool things that you should check out and pay for. But after you've done that, Dave, how about you tell us what have we got lined up for next week?
Well, next week, I forget which number in the series it is, but we're playing the new version of Yakuza. It's the new version called Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is the new Yakuza game, but it's like the 12th Yakuza game, and it's It's a balmy Japanese soap opera. Very look forward to getting into one of those again because they're often just insane. Which is
insane is the word. I think they're probably one of the most Japanese games out there. And 12 games deep, 20 years later, they decided to change the name. How insane is that?
Oh yeah, well, it's not good for me because I'm sitting here trying to remember Arthur Morgan and James, other guy,
James Watson,
Marston. Whatever, yeah, exactly.
John Marston.
Whatever. Oh no. So close to the end of the episode as well.
Almost.
Thanks again for listening to this week's episode. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.